Hello, everyone, and welcome to a dual podcast today. My name is Maria from Happy Life with Maria podcast.
Hi, my name is Radia, and we're doing the Kaylin Car collab
Today. Awesome conversation. I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to try to bring you all the ton of value, ton of different beautiful topics. Hopefully you enjoy. So why don't you start with your background first?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Radia. I'm the founder and CEO of the Elite Unlock, and started my organization a few months ago doing leadership, sales, coaching, all of the things that I absolutely enjoy doing, and been in that space for about 20 years. So, or a little under 20 years. So.
My name is Maria, and I have the podcast, Happy Life with Maria podcast, and I also do inner child healing. I'm all into spirituality and positivity. I try to teach people on my YouTube channel and my Instagram a lot about positivity, how to have a best version of yourself. I do mindset coaching, inner child healing, all that spirituality and personal development stuff, which is my passion. So I'm very excited for us to dive into the topics that we're both passionate about. Actually, the way we met was we were at the same conference in New York City.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, my first question for you is what, inspired you to do your own thing now?
I want to say inspiration was I know a lot of self-awareness over the years, right? To know that I'm very much can be a lone wolf. I love being around people, but I'm very independent, hyper independent. So I knew that sometime very soon it was time for me to break out on my own and do my own thing. And so happy doing it.
Yes, I love it. I feel like, I've gotten to know you a little bit, and I do see like your personality really matches what you are teaching. Tell us a little bit more about what you teach or what you coach.
Yeah, so a lot of executive coaching around leadership, around mindset, right? This is some of the spirituality, the removing limiting beliefs, so some NLP, some neuroscience is a big part. And so really helping leaders and salespeople and professionals understand that how they're showing up professionally is a lot of it is really the things that limiting beliefs they haven't worked on in the past. They don't know why they're showing up in a way that's not very confident.
I love it. Yeah, I'm the same. It's so funny because that's probably one of the main reasons why we agree. Wait.
So what for you? What inspired you to break out on your own?
Oh, yes. Great story. I mean, it's obviously also a long journey. I've also been doing spirituality and personal development for 15 years now for myself. And it's been a very interesting journey. It was mostly inspired by me seeing my own transformation, seeing how much I have been able to transform my life by changing the beliefs, by changing the way that I react to things, by changing the way that I see the world, like just understanding why things happen also helps a lot. So it was a little bit of everything together, brought me to kind of feel inspired to want to help others, improve their life, to help others achieve, things that most people think is impossible. People kind of believe that, you are the way that you are, but I don't believe that. You can make a change. You can, shift to a new version of yourself. Absolutely. You just have to believe that it's possible.
Absolutely.
I feel like. So, that was my definitely big inspiration right there. Just see my whole life change.
That's great.
Let me see.
Do you want to go to if you want to, go to how you were able to change? Because I can share mine too, but I want to hear from you because I think we both believe that we've both witnessed it ourselves, that change can happen.
I know. I think so. Okay. So long story short, I think we were discussing before is, that I had a period of my life, younger 20s, I guess, and in my high school time when I was mostly, to continue my story, there was a time in my life where I was not a happy person at all. I was always complaining about everything. I was mad at everybody for the smallest things. They couldn't ask me anything without me having a reaction. It was difficult to make friends. It was, a very different person that you see now. It was more of a very down, very negative, reacting to everything, assuming the worst, all of that. And then once I started learning about, the spiritual laws and the mindset work and the personal development, I started to see, wait a minute, the world is happening it's not, you're not the victim and it's just happening. No, you are in control and you can actually, shift your reality by changing yourself. So I started kind of a little bit of understanding my thoughts, and I was like, wait a minute, I can change my thoughts. You become the awareness. Step one was awareness, learning to be aware of how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself, and creating a different way to speak to yourself. Like you can just choose the opposite of the negative. You could just choose the positive. And then a couple of years later after that, I went to a yoga retreat and they taught us about the deep inner healing work, which I was telling you about a little bit, which is the inner child healing work, which I found to be so effective because you go back to the childhood. It's like a visualization and meditation technique where you go back to the childhood and you find the root cause of the triggers, like you said, like the same thing that's triggering you right now as an adult, it usually comes from something that happened in the childhood. So it would be, go back to the childhood. Was there a teacher that was mean to you? Was there a situation in class? Was there a neighbor, a kid, somebody that said something negative to you that you took internally and then it kind of shaped you? So going back to the childhood and doing the inner child healing was super positive for me because it kind of removed from the root the belief, and then it's gone. Like I was telling her, like, there's only two ways to change the subconscious mind, because a lot of it is the subconscious mind. One is you do a repetitive new belief for like 60 to 90 days. You just keep repeating the new belief, and it's like a repetition creates the new belief. Or you go to the childhood, one time you find the root of it, and then kind of more permanently kind of helps you reshape the belief. So it was kind of depending on which way you want to work at it. So I found both of them are very effective.
That's amazing. And so when you talked about that too, so the Maria before, and just talking to you guys, when we met in multiple workshops, I never in a million years would have thought that she was negative, like ever in my life. So this came up in a conversation yesterday, and I said, "You were negative?" And I said, well, I was kind of like cynical too. And we're both going, this is a great example of how we both changed our future by doing the right things, right?
Yes. Talk a little bit about your transformation.
Yeah, because I was very much a cynic. I still have little bits of it too, right? But that's okay. And that's my personality. But a lot of cynical, not really happy, not really smiling. And so, through self-development, right, over time, it's helped so much. And now, there was a point where I just was like, I can do whatever I say. Like, I believe it. I believe anything I want to do can happen. And that's from shifting my mindset completely to abundance, right? To knowing that anything can happen, that it's my decision. I'm not a victim, right? And so I'm not a victim. Everything's happening for me. It's not happening to me, right? Even, losses that we have, right? So losing my pup 2.5 years ago, right? Just being able to have that mindset instead of going down a deep, dark hole. I was like, what's the lesson out of this, right? And so all of that work, just repeating that over and over again. It's a lot of self-awareness and
yeah, I feel like definitely. Thank you for sharing. I feel like, self-awareness, I feel like is number one step. I would say just being aware of how you're thinking, how you're seeing the world, how you're seeing yourself. And number two, I guess, knowing that it is possible to shift. It is possible to change. You don't have to stay the same. If you choose to work on yourself, it is possible. But you have to make that choice. You have to consciously decide, I am going to find a way. I'm going to go to a coach. I'm going to go to a healer. I'm going to get on YouTube, whatever podcast, whatever works for you. And I'm going to get the answers.
And it's literally, I agree. I think it's that decision that we make to do it. And I don't think it's not this image that people have of just like, let's just be toxically positive. It's like, I mean, between her and I, she knows I had a really rough couple weeks. It happens, right? It doesn't happen a lot, but I can always go back to my routines and ground myself in the mental mindset shifts to help me with it.
Yes, that is true. There's a misconception that you're always positive and always good things are happening to you and you're like in this blissful world. No, we have very challenging things that happen. Yeah. It's just how we choose to react. Yeah. We don't stay in that state for a long time. That's it. We deal with the situation, we approach it however, we need to approach it, but we don't stay there.
Yeah. Literally. Like that's it, right? Because you can go into this, you just go into such a
Like
That's
victim.
my,
You could go into the victim mentality. You can go into, like
blaming others. This person did this to me. No one did anything to you. They did it for you. And what are you learning from it? And so I think that also going back to just even leadership, like many leaders just have blind spots that they're not aware of. And so leaders, professionals, you have blind spots and you have to find out what those blind spots are by seeking out feedback. And seeking out feedback for what you're not doing well is hard to do. It's literally hard to do, right? And so that's why I picked my executive coach, because I knew he was someone that would be in my face, and I didn't need someone to tell me I'm doing a great job and clapping. I wanted someone to tell me, what am I doing wrong that I need to fix? Of course, support me too, but you need that.
No, I love it. I love it. Yes, definitely. It is important to have somebody that really tells you exactly what you need to work on. Yeah. So it's not just, whatever you want. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because people aren't giving you feedback doesn't mean there's not things to work on. Sometimes most people don't like to give you feedback that's negative. So you need to seek it out.
Yes. And I would say for me, a lot of times, like the situations in life that happen that are challenging, I would look at it. What is it teaching me? What is it showing me? Like sometimes, yes, I always kind of like to analyze and see what is the lesson here. And I find whenever I understand what the lesson is, that situation kind of goes away. If I don't understand it, that's the same thing. It's one of those things where people have the same negative boss. They switch a job and then the same boss happens again. They switch a job and the same boss happens again, because the issue is not the boss. The issue is something in us that is attracting that. So until we change, until we face what is it, like, do I see myself as low value, low self-esteem, then the next boss is going to treat you badly and be controlling you because you have a low self-esteem, right? So learning to see what is the pattern in me that keeps calling in that experience. And once we change that inside of us, like, well, let's say for that example, up-leveling your self-esteem, knowing that you are good as you are, will not attract that experience anymore. So a lot of the times, like look at what is the pattern of life that it's showing you and look at it inside, like what is it inside of me that I need to shift maybe, and again, like if you work with a coach, we have a brilliant coach right here, or a healer like me. Any one of people like that would be, help you see things that you don't see in yourself. Sometimes you don't see it.
1,000%. And I'm such a big believer in finding multiple coaches and mentors, right? Because everyone's going to see something different. So I'm an executive coach. I have a separate one for the business, a business coach, right? I have my CrossFit coach, right? And they're looking at how I'm moving. And I had a nutritionist for a year and a half, right? These different coaches in your life to help guide you and teach you so you can do things on your own too.
Yes. And speaking of the physical trainer that you mentioned, do you want to talk about how the physical fitness is helping you in your business?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's something I try to help leaders understand too, that it's like really a non-negotiable. I think it's something that you have to do. You can't just say, well, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to move my body. You have to do it, or else you are going to find yourself stressed and burned out. You have to make the time to do it. And so I remember the year that I was number one in the world in sales, and people were asking me, oh my gosh, you must have worked so many hours and you must have worked harder than you ever had. And I'm not saying I didn't work hard, but I could tell you I worked out more and I slept more than I ever had.
Wow.
I was sleeping 8 hours a night and I was getting great sleep, and I was doing basically 2 a days. I was doing CrossFit, and then I would do zone 2 on my bike or go for a walk in the evening. And my fitness, my nutrition was all dialed in, and I was performing at my best. So I think it's such a huge part, right?
Yeah.
And you believe in that too.
Absolutely. For me, health is wealth. Physical health is number one priority over anything, because if you cannot move, you cannot work. If you cannot move, you cannot have a family. If you're bedridden or whatever, like I feel like a lot of times people take it for granted, the physical health, and they're like, oh, I'll sleep later. Oh, I'll move later because I have a deadline. I have, this, I have that. And they go with the work mode, or they have responsibilities with family mode, and then they forget about themselves. And then little by little, they don't realize they're destroying their physical health little by little. So, and then becomes a little bit too late sometimes, so you don't want to get to that stage. So I always recommend, yes, prioritizing emotional, mental, physical health, because when you prioritize the physical health, the emotional health, your whole life flows better. All the goals are accomplished easier, and you are mentally in a positive state. You're more easily able to get to a positive state because the body's moving, the cells are moving. Every time the cells are moving, they're a little happy to move. The body was designed to move. It was not designed to sit. And I find that, so for me, it could be dancing, take a dance class, go for a walk, biking, anything that makes the body move is enough. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, training, whatever works for you. And mentally, definitely meditation is a huge tool for me. And I would just say, overall, I think it's very, very important. I feel like it would be good for more people to realize how important it is. Because it changes every single goal of yours. You have more energy, all that stuff.
It's like prioritize yourself first. So one of my tips I always give to people is, because I did it, I would find that if I was like, oh, well, I got a meeting still 6-7 o'clock. I can't work out. Right. And then I just started carving it out on my calendar, and it was ahead of time. And yes, I would shift it sometimes, but the reality was no one would take that time for me because I was proactively putting it on my calendar, deciding.
Cool.
And when someone asked me, what was I doing? I wouldn't tell them I was going to the gym. I would say I have an appointment. I had an appointment with myself.
It's an important appointment.
Because if I said it was a gym, it's like, oh, you can skip it. No, I can't. So
yeah, I think that's what I would say as well is make it just as important of an appointment as if you had a business meeting. It should be just as important.
It's like more, really more. What's more
important than your own physical health?
And it's literally, someone actually posted this yesterday because it was funny, saying like, am I being selfish by taking an hour of my day? And I said, absolutely not, right? Like you're being the most selfless you can, because it's put the oxygen mask on yourself before helping others, right? You really need to take care of yourself, because then how are you showing up when you go into a meeting, or how are you showing up when you're reacting to your kids, right? You're reacting from this place of lack of sleep. You're irritated. You're just irritable. You take care of your health, you're going to show up differently in that meeting. You're going to show up happier, more confident. People are going to feel it.
Yeah, same thing for family. Yeah, even if it's not work-related, if it's a family situation, same thing. Yeah, the kids are going to feel your stress level because you're not stopping to take a break and recharge yourself. Definitely. And you are literally running nonstop, and then you're going to crash. Unfortunately, the people sometimes have to learn the hard way. They do crash, they do burn out. All these things happen because we don't stop to take time to recharge ourselves, which is, I feel like, should be a number one.
Yeah, and no one's going to say, right, if I need to meet with you, I'm not going to say, well, Maria, can you just check your calendar, make sure everything's okay? And like, is it okay to meet with me, right? I'm just going to go, oh, you're open on the calendar, I'm going to put a meeting on there, right? And so no one's going to say, can you take another meeting? They're just not necessarily going to ask you. It's just, people are thinking, I don't expect someone to say like, Roddy, how you feeling today? You gonna sleep? Like, can we meet later? No, they're not gonna ask me. It's my decision. I gotta create a boundary.
I love it. Yeah, it's up to us to make that choice. We have to prioritize it. I love it. Yeah, nobody's gonna come and tell you, oh, did you take a break this week?
Yeah. Or is it okay if I pile one more meeting on? You're just gonna put the meeting on. And it's up to you to say, no, I can't be there. It's just the reality. Going back to what you said too, though, you were talking about meditation, and I think that's something that's really hard for people to embrace. I've also started doing it about a year and a half ago, and it was a game changer. But for someone who's in their head a lot, how does it help? And if they said, I can't sit still.
Yeah. Well, so I would say, usually I say that there is two types of meditation. There is the regular meditation, but then there is also active meditation. So for those who cannot sit still, you don't really have to sit still. There is another option. Like for me, I like to sit down and I take, 15, 20 minutes in the morning or in the evening, whatever works for everybody. It doesn't have to be, you pick a time that works for you. If you're a morning person, do it in the morning. If you prefer evening, do it in the evening. But I prefer morning because it sets the whole day.
Yeah.
For me, amazing. I ground myself. I do the little meditation. It's only 15, 20 minutes. just quieting your brain and setting the intention for the day and setting the intention for how you want to feel. And then you are connected to your intuition. Basically, that's why I do it, to connect to my intuition, and the day flows because you're not in your analytical mind as much. You are more in the heart center. So that kind of helps me have a more flow day. It doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. It's still, but you deal with it much easier because you're not as reactive. You're connected to the higher power. You are more in flow. For those who cannot sit as much but still want to have that grounding thing, I would say, the active meditation, I would say maybe going for a walk first thing in the morning, 15, 20 minutes for a walk, or anything that doesn't require your mind to be active as much. Could be a painting, whatever it is, anything that is more creative also will get the brain to relax. I feel like that's huge to do, literally just shut off the brain so that you're more in the heart center, and then you're more connected to the intuition, and you're more connected to the higher power. People believe in that. And so I find it super, super important for me because it helps me be in that flow state, which is, a lot of people talk about the flow state, which is not as hard to get to as people realize. That, it's really just about stopping, taking the time to reconnect to yourself, and just being in the creative mode, just being in the receptive mode, and the day flows.
Because I know that people, I ask you about that because I feel like there are so many people, including myself. I was a non-believer. I remember my mom for years telling me, you should meditate. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm like, go. I can't meditate. And when I started doing it, I could only really focus on doing guided. So it was short. And then I started doing longer ones. And then even this last couple of weeks where it's been really challenging, I realized I got away from doing it daily. And as soon as the day I did it, I did a 25-minute one, and I was laying in bed, right, and guided, and I was like, oh my God, I feel amazing. Like, it's
a game changer. It's a game changer.
And there's data behind all this stuff, right? I think that's the challenge. Is a lot of us, we want to say it's like fluffy, but there's a lot of data behind it.
That's what's so exciting right now. There is so much research. There is a lot of proof, scientific proof, that the brain does and the heart are connected. And when you're in the heart center, the whole field, if we believe in the outside field, we all have like an energetic field. And when we can tap into that field, that's where everything flows. That's where we are in connection with source. That's where we are just in a flow mode. And I find that for me, that's like one of the best states to strive to be into. It doesn't happen all the time, but we kind of do our best to try to reconnect as much as we can. And if they cannot do the meditation, literally just doing something fun. Joy is also another way. Just bringing some joy into your life. Literally, I always tell people, put it on your schedule, 30 minutes to 1 hour a week. Just do something that's joyful. And when you're in play mode, when you're in joy mode, that's also when it activates the heart center, activates the creativity, activates the flow state, because you are in the joy mode, which is the analytical mind is turned off. And that's where you are more in flow than you realize. I love taking 30 minutes a week for something that's joyful, whether it's dancing, whether it's taking a walk or running or whatever it is, listen to music, anything on nature, anything that brings you joy for 30 minutes, and you already will have something to look forward to for the whole week. You're like, okay, I know I have something positive coming up. So the whole week you're already elevated because you're looking forward to it. I love that.
I love that. And I think for some of the people that are, if you have children and you're going, I can't meditate first thing in the morning, there's no way I'm going to get my kids. Like, just even imagine 5 minutes that you can put your earbuds in, close the door in the bathroom if you can, and just try to go through a guided meditation, or do it when you get to work, right? There's no timestamp. Do it as soon as your kids go to sleep. Because I think that's a lot of it too. It's like, at least I get that feedback sometimes. It's like, well, Roddy, you don't have kids. Like, it's different, but I know you can make that
say that. And I do have a lot of people in my life who have multiple kids. And it's about making that choice, making that commitment. Even if it's 5 minutes in the bathroom. Whatever works. All you got to do is close your eyes for 5 minutes, do deep breathing. Even that works as well. Just choosing yourself for 5 minutes in the morning is already huge, because that will help you center yourself for the day. That will help you react to everything much easier. You're not going to be like in reactive mode and explosive mode. You're more calm. I'm very much an advocate for that.
I love it. And it's finding, like, I feel like it's finding the tweaks that you can make that make sense, not to try to change everything, but just incorporate one or two of the habits.
Yeah,
and
what
then
works for you. There's no such thing as like, this is the most important way to go and this is the only way to go. There's no such thing. Everybody has the right to choose what works for them. Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Do you like to work out hard? Do you like to work out lightly? Do you like to, whatever preference is for you, like try things out for like 30, 60 days. And then it has to be something that's easy enough for you to do that you can do continuously for 30 to 60 to 90 days for a year. If it's only for 1 or 2 days, that's not gonna last long. So
nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, so think long term.
Yeah. Like just the habit to put that into practice, and even like the gratitude practice, I feel like that's been a game changer.
I'll talk about that. Do you do the gratitude?
Yeah. I mean, I did a program with Master Mind Power. I love doing it. And I remember when they gave me the activity of doing 100 things I was grateful for, I just remember thinking 100 things I'm grateful for. That's going to be hard, but being able to do that because I actually had done it so much daily that I was so used to it, it was not that hard to do. It wasn't as hard as I think most people would think it would be. So I think I have my clients do the same thing. I have them do 3 things they're grateful for every day. I think if you can write more, great, but at least minimum 3 things. It's a game changer, right? Because think of the neuroscience behind it too. You're literally starting to look for the good, right? It's shifting your mindset.
That's right.
It's not just what I'm grateful.
That's right.
It's like, well, now I have to look for things I'm grateful for. So now I have to look for things that are good. And I also have my coaching clients do 3 things that they've 3 wins that they had at the end of the day. They have them do it in a journal. And so it's 3 wins. Now I have to look for the good that happened today instead of saying, oh my God, I was in meetings all day. I don't know what I did. I got nothing done. Right. So it's that stress mode. So I don't think it has to be where we have this 1 hour long morning routine. It's just got to be what works for you, right?
It's so funny because I actually have a very similar thing I do before I go to sleep. I have made myself a requirement. I have to list 5 positive things that happened to me that day.
Love it.
And then what it does is, like you said, it literally trains your brain during the day. I have to look for something positive that happened because at the end of the day, I got to recall 5 positive things that happened. So then the whole day, I'm looking for something positive.
Yep.
So it's literally like small little exercise like that is huge because most of the day you're focused on, I have to find 5 positive things or whatever, 3 things. And I think that's huge. Yeah, gratitude is definitely, I feel like people don't realize how much it can shift.
Game changer.
It can be even for, let's say, even in the executive coaching, I would say for your clients, probably, they don't even take time for it, probably.
No. And that's why I literally have a Google Doc I create for them and they go in there and I check it and it's 3 things they're grateful for, 3 wins, because it literally trains your brain, because I've been doing it for so many years. It's not just something I just talk about. I remember day after day and you feel like you're in the hamster wheel and you're going, I didn't get anything done. And then I would go back to my wins page and I'm like, oh my God, I got a lot of really amazing things done. A lot of amazing things happen. So I think that's at the end of the week on a Friday when you're just going, oh my God, I'm spent. You go back and you look at all the things you're grateful for and all the things you accomplished. I just think that gives you more purpose and meaning in your life too.
Totally. Talk to me about, I remember you were telling me that you help your clients with confidence. Like what are, let's say, 3 things you would love to share for people who are struggling with confidence?
So I'd say, going back and looking at the evidence in your past, things that you've done that are hard, right? And tracking those, going back and saying, you spoke up in a presentation or you just those little things that you've done because everyone has done things that are difficult. I think that helps build your confidence. I would say the second one would be just knowing that not even knowing, focusing moving forward on things that you do that are hard. And the more hard things you do, the more that establishes, this is who I am. I am someone that does hard things. That's what I try to tell a lot of my clients. So for me, going to do a CrossFit workout, like this morning, I was tired. I did not want to go, but it's just who I am. It's in my DNA. I do hard things. I'm tired and I do it anyway, And so when you can train yourself to be confident, like, look what I can do even when I'm exhausted. So that can help a lot too. And I would just say,
love it.
Just do more. Like there's so many people who are so afraid of doing what we're doing, being on camera. I was that person too, like probably 2 years ago, right? And so just putting yourself out there. The more you take risks, the easier everything's going to become, the more confident you're going to be.
Yes, I agree with that. Thank you for sharing. It's like repetition, right? Sometimes it's just about repetition. And the more you do it, the less you're worried about it, the less you're in your head about it, the less you are like stuck in your mind. It's all like fake stories that we create in our mind. Most of them are not even true. It's literally just realizing that, is this fear even real? Like, question it. Like, is it even real? A lot of times it's just a story in your mind that you have created from, a long time ago that,
like you said, with childhood.
Yeah, the childhood. I find myself a lot of times, yes, a lot of things that I would see that I'm hesitating to do. It would be because of something that probably happened before. And like right now I'm working on certainty, like what we're learning in class. Certainty, which is kind of removing doubts, removing fears, and it's a work. You have to work on the certainty thing. And a lot of it I've noticed in myself is from the childhood. Like I would be hesitant to speak up here, to be more bold there. I would be, putting myself down in certain situations because of something that happened in the childhood. And then I would go back and reframe that in the childhood, and then it becomes easier. Now it's like a whole different version of you shows up. So I feel like, confidence and certainty, kind of all those tools. There is tools available. Yeah. There is things you can do to work on it. Yeah. It doesn't mean that once you were born shy, you stay shy. Yeah. No, you can.
I was painfully shy. Painfully shy.
And the same thing with being reactive. I used to be so reactive. Same thing. Just because you spent years being reactive and triggered by every little thing doesn't mean you can stay that way. You can address those issues. You can go back to the childhood or do the mindset work. You can change it. I used to be so reactive. My nickname was Porcupine.
Oh my gosh, really?
Because you couldn't come near me because I would be react. Why did you look at me this way? Why did you?
What did that look mean?
I would react to the smallest, tiniest little thing. Now, I'm chill. I do not care because I don't take it personally. Yeah. I don't get offended. I look at, you can sometimes change the frame of it and look at, it's like there's this book, The Four Agreements. A lot of it, none of the things, negative things that people say to you have anything to do with you. A lot of it has to do with themselves having their issues. So just flipping that, they must be going through a situation. A lot of times their intention is not to harm you. They're literally speaking from a pain point of theirs. Yep. They're speaking from something that happened to them. So kind of just be more compassionate and understanding of where it's coming from and just having like a little zoom out view. Yep. Just kind of understanding things a little bit more gets me to kind of be much less reactive. I rarely react these days. Like it is hard to get a reaction out of me because you just kind of understand the bigger picture. You clear out all the old wounds. Like they say, there's a lot of like wounds. Like a lot of times if you're triggered, it's because you are upset at something happened in the past. So just healing that, removing that, you no longer react. Oh, how dare you, say something. Like if somebody calls somebody stupid, the only person that would feel offended by that was because of something that they believe is true, right? If they believe that because they were probably in childhood, something happened and they were called that, then every time somebody tells it to them, they'll get offended. If you tell me I'm stupid, I have no reaction because I know that's not true. I do not get triggered by that. I'll just laugh at you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, just knowing that you have the choice. You can shift the mindset. You can shift your reactions to things if you put in the work, if you put in, if you choose to work with professionals, you go on YouTube, whatever it is. But for me, definitely working with professionals is much more effective than trying to figure out an answer on your own.
And I think it just it's collapsing time so that you can work with someone that already did it and can give, just like my coach is like, got me to start my business and have it be successful super fast rather than waiting.
It would have taken you years probably.
So you do that for coaches. And then speaking of reactive, which is really funny, you made me think probably about 15, 16 years ago. I remember being that person, impatient, driving my car, someone cut me off. I'd be so mad, right? And then I remember this day where I said, I can't react because at the time I was a trainer. And so if I showed up at a class and I just flipped off somebody, and like, that wouldn't be a good look if I walk in the room and I'm the leader now. So in my head, I was like, you're not going to react anymore. And it just became such a regular thing that I actually reframed it. And anytime someone would be honking the horn, give me the finger, I would just literally, my response would be like, I just feel so bad that they're that angry. And that actually helped me get through it, because I'd be like, I'm so glad that I'm not that angry that I have to take it out. Or maybe they just got the worst news. Maybe they just lost their job. Maybe someone in their family just passed away. Like, I just try to reframe it in my head. Like, what if? Like, most people, I think, are trying to be as compassionate as they can. And so
just be compassionate. Try to understand. A lot of the times it's just coming from a pain.
It literally is.
Nothing to do with you.
Me and my one friend, we were talking about that. Like, it's just like a lot of us are walking around professionals, like a bunch of wounded children that I haven't fixed some of those challenges we've had in her.
But that's literally why all those famous people become famous, because they have something they want to prove to the parent. They want to prove that they are worthy, and then chase and chase and chase, thinking that, then I'll feel worthy. Then I will. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You're exactly the same as you were.
Literally.
Until you choose to work on your inner issues, until you choose to, work on the whatever it is. But
it's like the just finding happiness within and not chasing it. And that's even something I'm learning.
It cannot come from outside. People wait, I'll get into a relationship, then I'll be happy. I'll get that job, and then I'll be happy. It doesn't work that way. Even if you get that job, you're the same.
Literally.
So anything outside of you cannot make you feel good. It cannot make you feel whole. That's an inside job. It's an internal job. It's every day. It's choosing the positive thoughts. It's choosing to work on yourself, and just know that it's possible. Is basically the whole message. Like, just know that it is possible.
And you're setting an example for everybody, right? You're setting an example for when you're working on yourself. You're setting an example for your kids. You're setting an example for your significant other, your family, everyone around you. You're setting an example, because people look at it like you're working on yourself and you've come so far. Like, when are you going to stop? And you're like, well, it's a journey. It's not a destination. There is no perfect self version that's a destination. I mean, it's either the perfect self now, and we just continue to evolve and change, and it's not.
Yeah, we're constantly evolving. That's the whole point of the human experience.
Exactly.
We are always learning. We're always growing, becoming the next version. The lessons never stop. It's about how you are approaching it. How are you seeing it as, I'm grateful for this, because now it's teaching me to, react less. It's teaching me to be more compassionate. It's teaching me more self-confidence, right? And the next level is, whatever it may be. So it's kind of like knowing that there's always going to be lessons coming your way.
Those are not going to stop.
But you don't have to feel like, oh my God, the world has ended because I had a challenge. No.
So that's,
Yeah, things come, and, that's life. It's like a circle. Sometimes you have positive moments. Sometimes you have negative moments. Yeah. But after negative, you'll have a positive. After the positive is a negative. It's just kind of expected. I feel like a lot of celebrities always say that message because they have, very eventful lives. They always say expect. From the positive, then you'll have the negative. Then you'll have the positive. And it's gonna happen.
Right.
There's no way around.
Right. But it's your choice of your outlook, right? If you're looking for the lessons, that's a beautiful thing. If you're looking for the lesson within it, I feel like that's the positive, and gets you to the positive faster than if you stay and you can decide to be the victim.
Yeah, and like you were saying about the gratitude, appreciate even these things that happen to you, because they're pushing you out of your comfort zone. They're pushing you to become more comfortable with yourself, to become the truer version of you. And the more comfortable you become in your own skin, the easier it becomes.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many layers to it. I think I told you about it yesterday on the phone, that it's an ongoing journey. And even, getting in the car and I was, reactive. I'm trying to be less reactive. I'm not as reactive. I don't think I'm a very super reactive person, but
no.
I can be a little high strung, high energy.
Once in a while.
But my instinct was, let me go in and help this situation. And I just got in my car and I started driving probably like 5 miles. And then I was like, no, this is not for me to fix. I turned my car around and I went back home. This is not for me to fix. This is someone else's challenge that they need to correct and they need to work out. And I'm actually robbing them of the opportunity to figure it out on their own. by trying to jump in and save them.
I totally agree with that. There is literally, I forget her name. There's like a famous lady. She always says, don't rob someone of their rock bottom. Because literally that's sometimes, unfortunately, people do need to experience that rock bottom to make a different choice. Sometimes, unfortunately, not everybody kind of learns in the light. Sometimes they need like a heavy experience. And I'm the same way. Like I have to be like, let's stay out of it. Like we have to remember that, we're not responsible to fix every single human that comes our way. We're not responsible to jump into every single, especially if they're an adult and if they're not even asking for help.
Especially that. But it's hard, right? When your nature is to jump in and help. And I'm a coach by nature. I coach people, right? It's really hard for me to sit back and just go, I'm not in coach mode right now. I'm just listening. I'm a friend. I'm just a friend. I'm just going to listen.
No, I'm the same way. It is extremely hard for me to watch because there's a lot of negativity in the world. And it's extremely hard for me because we were both like very compassionate, very empathetic people. It's very hard to watch and not do something about it. It is a huge struggle.
Especially when there's a shortcut that'll help them prevent it.
It is
getting worse.
A huge struggle for people like us. Huge. I feel you don't realize how much of a struggle it really is. It literally is seriously a huge struggle.
Yeah.
And for us, I guess that's one of the lessons, to learn to detach, because we are so, caring about everyone. Learning to detach, I feel like, is our life lesson, which is something I'm learning as well, because I always like the instinct is, just running and but they're not asking.
No.
But they're an adult.
And even sometimes when people even are asking when it's just not necessarily like appropriate. I mean, I've been asked things about things that are just not for me to answer for somebody, or tried to be guilted into responding to people. And I have created boundaries now because more people are asking for my time, and I have to put the oxygen mask on myself, and I can't help everybody. Even if they're asking for help, I can't help everybody. So I think that part too, the boundaries. Like for you, is it hard for you to create some boundaries?
Yeah. Oh my God, for sure. I'm literally learning that right now. Like the last 6 months. Yes, I've definitely had to learn to choose. Okay, what's beneficial to not only them, but what's also beneficial to me? Is it draining me? Is it exhausting me? If I am so drained helping everybody else that I don't have any energy left for me, that's a red flag, right? Yeah. So I started paying attention. Yeah, if I'm hanging out with certain people and I'm constantly helping and saving and all those things, and then I come home and I am out for days.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So I kind of start paying attention more to what situations are draining me, and is it really 100% necessary that I have to be the one?
Yeah, exactly that.
I don't think I'm required to, unless this is, like your child, you're not really required to, I feel like. I don't know. I mean, it's just... I'm definitely learning that right now, to be okay to say no, to be okay to say, you know what, I have to prioritize me, which is extremely hard. But I feel like that's an important lesson to learn.
Yes.
Because like you were saying before, they have to learn their lesson. They have to go through whatever they have to go through. And unfortunately, we cannot do anything. Even if you do come in and you tell them you're supposed to do A, B, and C, they're not even going to hear you, because they're not there. They're not on that level yet.
True.
They're only going to offend. They're going to feel offended.
Yeah. That's such a great point.
Unfortunately, sometimes we have to learn to step back, detach. Sometimes it's a difficult.
I think it was about 10 years ago when I had two people in my life that were acquaintances, friends, that I remember probably the first time I really had like hard boundaries, because I never paid attention to my energy level. I don't remember prior to that, but I remember hanging out and spending time with them, and the next day being just sleeping fully, but being completely exhausted and being like, why am I so tired? And then I started linking it.
It knocks you off.
I was like, I can no longer be around this person because it's exhausting. So I just started having boundaries, because there are going to be people that we're going to meet that are energy vampires, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's the thing. The people that are constantly like, trying to take your energy I find a lot of them are in the victim mentality.
Yes.
They're not working on themselves as much. And they're hoping that, somebody else will just come in but it doesn't work that way. It never
Or someone will
works that way.
reinforce what their beliefs are already, and then they don't have to really work on things. But I mean, we're all human beings. We're just all so incredibly complicated, and we have to just be really, really aware of like how we're showing up with everything. Just because someone has a fire drill and texts you doesn't mean it's now your fire to put out. It's, like someone's like, I need to talk to you right now. My response usually is it urgent? That's my response. That's my first boundary. Is it urgent? And I oftentimes it's like, oh no, it can wait till later. Great. Let's talk later. Just because it's your urgency right now, can I talk? Like, I don't know. Is it like you're about to go into the emergency room? Then yeah, let's talk. But if it's something, go wait till tomorrow and I'm more like well rested and can focus.
I love that. Yeah, because sometimes we'll just like drop everything, but you don't have to. You don't have to. You can choose yourself. You can prioritize what's important to you. I feel like sometimes like I forget that I'm important too.
Yeah.
Like I forget because I'm like, oh no, I have to go help everybody, whatever. But what about like you said, nobody's gonna tell me to take a break from me.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get upset because we're so fried and tired, but it's like no one's saying, hey, Radia and Maria, like I need some advice. Do you have a couple minutes? It's just going to be immediate. So yeah, no one's checking in on us. And then we get irritated and feel a certain way back. That's really not their fault. It's our fault if we don't say anything.
Yeah. So I think that's been definitely a hard lesson to kind of implement, but I am definitely implementing it now because, I always say like, we each of us have a purpose here. We each have something we're supposed to contribute to the world. So if most of my time is spent, running around, putting out other people's fires, it's going to be hard for me to live my purpose. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be hard for me to deliver what I came here to deliver or what you came to deliver. So I think protecting our own energy is also so that the right people benefit from the knowledge that we have to share, because there are people that are looking for us. There are people that are, open to grow and to learn and work on themselves. And sometimes maybe somebody like you will speak to them in a way nobody else can.
Yeah, right. And vice versa, right? Yes. So
I feel like that's kind of what I'm kind of learning right now is it's okay to prioritize me because there are people that are looking for answers from someone they like.
Yeah.
And
it is, it's 1,000% true. And you may actually made me think of the times where people like call you on the phone, right? They call you on the phone and it's like this assumption that we have to pick up the phone.
Yeah, you drop everything and you run.
So this happened to me like years ago. My boss was doing this and calling me just randomly in the middle of, because they had a lunch break, but I was focused on something completely different. And I was like, I can't take these phone calls anymore. This is because it just went off on a tangent. And then I need to focus on my work. Like I had to focus on my work because it would take me off and then I'd have to get back. So I've communicated to everyone on the team that please text me first. That is how I like to be communicated. Text me first so I can be present, because when people call, I want to be fully present. I want to listen. I don't want to be dragging bags around the grocery store. I'm half listening to you. That's just my style.
I love it.
So I just really like another boundary. I'm like, please text me before and we'll plan for a time that you want to call. Don't just randomly call me. My phone's on Do Not Disturb and I'm a salesperson, right? So the phone's on Do Not Disturb all the time. And it's been like that from 7 p.m. on. It's usually on Do Not Disturb like all the time.
I love that because then you're more present.
Yeah.
If you're texting you, then you have time on your own time to respond. You can actually pay attention.
That's what voicemail's for. People leave you a voicemail or text you. I don't check my voicemail. I tell people that.
Right, text now. but yeah, if they're interrupting in the middle of something, you're not even going to have a response.
Yeah. And I don't want to get hit with someone else's, maybe, someone else's potential reactive nature or their anger or their frustration. I just pick up the phone and I was in this great mood and now all of a sudden they're like, what happened? I want to know what I'm prepared. I want to be prepared. mentally for what's about to happen.
No, that's not our responsibility to take all
Yeah.
that at all. No, I think I like your approach. You're telling them that you prefer texting and that so that you are present, so that you can actually be in the moment to respond.
Yeah.
If you're not available, then you're not available.
Yeah.
But yeah, just interrupting like that in the middle of, a grocery run or whatever, that's not going to help anybody. You're
No.
just...
not even hear half of what you're saying, and I feel like it's rude to them, so I don't want to do that. But then even some people I have this conversation a lot in like workshops where people say, well, I can't say no, I can't not pick up if my boss calls. And I'm like, why do you have to call why do you have to answer every single time just because it's your boss? Like, you can respond back and say, is this urgent? Can I call you back in 10 minutes? Right? Like, why just because it's your boss and they call, you can say, so it's just getting past that, having the confidence to say that doesn't mean it's a rejection and it's disrespect. Not at all. You can follow up with a text and say, hey, I'm in the middle of something. What if you're in the bathroom? I always tell them, like, what if you're in the bathroom? You know, just pick up.
I love it. Okay, so speaking of the workshop that you do and the trainings that you do, and I know you have to have sales skills. What are some tips you share? Because I know you always say that it's more about relationships than making like a specific sale. Like it's more about having those connections. What would you say would be like 1 or 2 tips to build a relationship with someone instead of like making it look like a sales?
I think it's just being authentic and adding value. That's really what it is. And I actually have a message on LinkedIn I got from this guy last week. It was such a great conversation.
Really?
I messaged him, and my first touch point is a company I potentially want to work with. But I did first touch point just like, hey, I thought you might like this. I love to help leaders, right? It was an ebook I created that I thought he'd appreciate. Gave him my sign up for my weekly tips and said, have a great day. Like, I don't even intend. Why am I going to sell this guy anything? I don't even know him. I don't know if he needs what I have. Like, I just that's not trust. So his response immediately. Sorry, I feel like I have cobwebs on me.
Yes, we do have.
It's like a spider somewhere building a web. And he was just like, he's like, wait, you're not going to ask for anything else? I was like, no. And he goes, wow. He goes, go in, add value, mic drop moment. And he's like, can't wait to share this with my team. And it just went back and forth and was like, oh, you can call me Johnny because my dad's John too. And we're just back and forth. And I was like, he's like, you just made my day. And I said, you made my day. He goes, I can't wait to see what you bring to me next in your next message. And I was like, that's building a relationship, just having fun. Like,
so you started with giving value first. You shared a workbook or whatever it was, tips, and just left it.
Backed off.
I thought you might find
have a great day.
Interesting if you want,
because I got to build rapport and credibility with you over time. Like that person might not ever be ready to buy. That person might not be ready. They're not going to trust me right now. They got to see my posts first, some time, see who I work with over time. But yeah, I think it's adding value. It's just you're creating a relationship. You're not there to sell anyone anything. You're there to learn about them. It's about them. It's not about you.
Yeah, like we were talking in the car, you have to ask them questions about what they're looking for, what they want, what is their desire. Yeah. Not like I have A, B, and C that I need to push down to you.
It's like, and it's such a turnoff because it screams desperate and needy. And it's like, you sound desperate and needy.
But wait, speaking of, I do have to congratulate you because you got an award recently. You got an award for, what was it like for the sales? Was it like a sales award that you received? You were like,
it was the Innovate. No,
the innovation, was it? You got an award recently. I remember you were like accepting it. Oh, never mind.
I don't even know. There was the Innovate one. The Innovate one. That was back in like.
Yeah, what was that one about?
As a friend that nominated me for Innovate 100. It was an amazing opportunity. Again, going there and building relationships with people. It was so cool. And he's actually one person that built a relationship. You talk about it, building relationships without like asking people. He was a cold call I made years ago. Like it was probably 20 seconds and he was not interested. And then I connected with him on LinkedIn and then he saw my post and we finally met. 3 years later, he was working for a different company. He walked into our office. He was working for LinkedIn, I believe, and he was working with my past company. He walks in the door and I was like, we knew each other forever, but we never actually met. It was literally just from like adding value, connecting, and then staying in touch on social media. Like that's how you build relationships. Now, like I actually have to call him. Really. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so we have to wrap up. We have like 5 minutes left. So I would love it if we spend like 1 or 2 minutes. What would be, if you could share like a message to anybody in the world, what would you want people to know? And also, what would be the best way people can work with you?
Yeah. Okay. I think the message is I try to keep things simple for people. You choose how your life turns out. It's literally your choice. And you could have a pretty tough life right now and you could make it incredible despite not enough money, whatever. You can decide. And it's really a decision. You could do it. You don't have to go to all these self-development conferences and spend lots of money. You can pick up books, go to the library. It doesn't have to be expensive, right? Pick up books, learn, and just continue to build awareness around you. I think that's really what it is, right? Find the habits that work for you, not what works for Maria, what works for me, or might not work for you, but pick 1 or 2 and start to incorporate them every day. That's it. It's not, I think we talked about so much, but I think it's so much more simple than a lot of people make it sound more complex. I try to simplify things for people. And then people can find me, podcast, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. We'll put our stuff in
we'll
show notes and everything.
Link it in the show notes.
And how about you, Maria? What's the powerful message you want to leave everyone with?
I have so many.
You can change from someone who was not as positive, and I never would have been guessing.
You were so shocked.
What?
You were like, Maria, you were not positive.
That's crazy.
That was so funny. Okay, so if I could share a message, well, number 1, yes, it would definitely be that it is possible to change.
Yeah.
We are
proof of it.
It is possible. You don't have to believe the society telling you that, since you are the way you are, that's it. No, it is possible to change if you are willing to. Mm-hmm. Number 2, I would say a 3. Number 2, I would say, definitely connect to your intuition. Your intuition is all-knowing. It helps you make decisions better. It helps you, it's like a little guidance GPS system that I feel like a lot more people are becoming more open to now. So definitely connect to your intuition is number 2. And number 3, I would say definitely find something joyful to do once a week and put it on your schedule. Prioritize play and joy. As adults, we're allowed to have joy. We're allowed to play.
We need to.
It doesn't have to be just for kids. And watch how your life changes. It really uplifts your mood. It uplifts your whole family's mood. The kids are happier. Everybody around you. It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah, really.
Then it's like what do you call it? Like you're contagious. It becomes contagious and everybody else sees you. Why are you so happy? Oh, you took a dance class? Oh, where's like, it's like it becomes, because people kind of have this idea that I'm an adult, so I have to be serious now.
No.
And life is over.
No. That was the thing I loved doing in training, the laugh. I would be like, guys, rule number 1, we are laughing.
Yeah, you can laugh in a presentation, even if it's like an important presentation. You can still put humor in the class that we took together. Yeah. He was so funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jokes all the time. That's allowed. So yeah, definitely be okay with play and fun and joy. Put it on your schedule. Make it important because your health will improve. Everything will improve. And then when people can find me, we'll link it, but it's happywithmaria.com, the podcast, Happy Life with Maria, and we'll link everything. But thank you so much for an amazing day. I think we did I think it's the first time we did a combined podcast.
Yes. First time I've done one outdoors.
Yeah. So your adventurous day today, but it's fun. It's always fun.
Mercer County Park, for anyone that doesn't know, it's beautiful.
In New Jersey, in Mercer County Park, my first time here. So thank you for the location choice.
I think we had the Princeton rowing team in the background.
Yeah, there you probably saw the rowing team. You saw all kinds of things. But I love it like this. I love it more authentic. I love it like that. It doesn't have to be all super duper neat professional. Life is not all neat and professional.
So true. Life is messier.
So I think it's okay to be authentic about it. Like you said, the authenticity factor is what connects with people.
Definitely.
And just being the example that it's okay to be, all kinds of versions of yourself. It's okay to be, not perfect. It's fine. There's nothing's gonna
just makes you more relatable anyway when you're not perfect.
Yeah,
you don't have to have all the answers.
nothing's gonna happen. It's actually positive. They're gonna be able to connect to you. Oh, you were negative. Oh,
Yeah.
I can connect because she was actually quick. No, she was actually the one that told me to share that I used to be negative.
I was like, yeah, you have to talk about that. You have to talk about the fact that you were negative. She's like, really? I'm like, yes, because then people could see what's possible, because that's what I talk about, and I feel like that's what people connect. So it's
That was
amazing.
a great tip. Thank you so much. Yeah, because I didn't think people would hear that, but
Now they can see it's possible, right? If they just assumed that you were happy, they'd be like, oh, well, that's just her. So you said such a great, like, you set the bar.
yeah, it shows, I guess, the journey. I guess, I didn't think of that way. But
Amazing.
All right, well, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys found some value out of this. Follow Radia, follow Maria, and if you have any questions, we'll leave information how you can contact us. Have an amazing day. Stay positive.
Love it.